The laughter and music inside the house felt muffled the moment I stepped out to the porch. I told Emma I was grabbing some air, but the truth was, I couldn't stand being in that room another minute. Everyone there seemed happy, free, buzzing with life, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I didn't belong among them anymore. Not beside her. Not after the past few weeks, when every look from her seemed colder, every word clipped, every smile forced. Something between us had shifted, and tonight I'd finally felt the full weight of it. I leaned against the railing, my breath frosting slightly in the cool night air. The laughter inside swelled again, and through the curtain-drawn windows, I could see Emma's silhouette moving elegantly among our friends. She looked radiant in her emerald dress, the one I'd bought her for our anniversary last year. It was strange seeing her glow that way, like the woman smiling inside wasn't the same one who barely looked at me anymore. I was about to text her that I'd be heading home early when her voice drifted out, low but distinct, followed by the soft laughter of another woman. Froze. She was near the open kitchen window, just inside. I shouldn't have heard her. I shouldn't have stayed. But something in her tone, sharp, tired, almost mocking, made me listen. He's sweet, but honestly, I can't do it anymore. I feel trapped. The words hit like a slap. My stomach twisted as I pressed closer to the wall, the night air turning to ice around me. One of her friends murmured something I couldn't catch, and Emma laughed, a sound I used to love. I know it sounds cruel, she said, but I can't keep pretending. Every time he talks about our future, I just feel nothing. Like I'm watching someone else's life. Then quieter, she added. And then there's Daniel. The name punched the air from my lungs. My chest tightened, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. Daniel, our mutual friend. My coworker. The guy who'd been helping us plan our kitchen remodel. The one she'd always said had such good taste. My hands trembled as I gripped the railing. Every sound from inside seemed amplified. The clink of glasses, a burst of laughter, the faint hum of a song we used to dance to in our living room. You're serious about him? Her friend asked softly. I don't know, Emma replied. But when I'm with him, I feel seen again. Live. It's like remembering who I used to be before. She trailed off. Before what? Before me. I stepped back, my body numb. The sounds of the party grew distant, like I was underwater. I wanted to burst in, confront her, demand an explanation, but part of me was paralyzed, trapped between disbelief and understanding. Because deep down I already knew. The missed calls, the late nights, the sudden bursts of attention followed by cold silence. It all made sense now. I slipped away from the window before I could hear any more. I didn't want her to know I'd heard. Not yet. When she finally found me outside a few minutes later, she was all smiles again. There you are, she said, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Everyone was asking where you went. Her voice was perfectly calm, perfectly hers. But now it felt like a performance. Just needed air, I said. My voice came out steadier than I expected. She stepped closer, her perfume wrapping around me, familiar and suffocating. You okay? She asked, her eyes searching mine. I'm fine, I lied. Just thinking. About what? I looked at her for a long moment, wondering if she could tell that I knew. About how people change, I said finally. Something flickered across her face. Nervousness, maybe guilt, but she masked it with a smile. That's deep for a party thought. Yeah, I said quietly. Guess I'm in a deep mood. We went back inside together, but everything between us had shifted. I could feel it in the way she avoided my eyes, in the way she laughed too loudly when Daniel came over to join our group. He looked at her with an ease that made my stomach turn. The way his hand brushed against hers didn't seem accidental. I'd never noticed before, or maybe I'd never let myself. For the rest of the night I played my part. Smiled. I laughed at jokes I didn't hear. I even poured drinks, pretending I didn't feel my world collapsing quietly beneath me. Later, when the guests left and the house fell silent, Emma began clearing glasses in the kitchen. I stood in the doorway, watching her move in that green dress, her back turned to me. For a second, I saw the woman I'd fallen in love with years ago, the one who used to dance barefoot in our living room while I played old records. "Long night," she said without looking up. "Yeah." My voice was low, rough. "Interesting one too." She turned slightly, frowning. "What do you mean?" I hesitated, my chest burning. I wanted to shout, to ask her how she could betray me like that, but I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I stepped forward and placed my car keys on the counter. "I'm heading out," I said. "At this hour." "Where?" "Just need to clear my head." She started to say something, then stopped, her lips parting like there was something she couldn't bring herself to admit. "Okay," she said finally, forcing a smile. "Be safe." As I walked out the door, I realized how quiet the house felt without the noise of the party, like the silence itself was grieving. I didn't sleep that night. I drove aimlessly, thinking about everything she'd said about Daniel, about the years we'd built together and how fragile they suddenly seemed. By morning, I knew what I had to do. When I came home, Emma was sitting at the table, her hair tied back, a mug of untouched coffee in front of her. She looked exhausted, maybe from pretending. "You didn't come to bed," she said softly. "No," I replied. "Didn't feel right." She looked at me then, and something in her eyes cracked. "You heard me last night, didn't you?" I nodded once. Every word. Tears welled up, and for the first time in a long time, she didn't try to hide them. "I didn't mean for you to find out like that," she whispered. "You mean you didn't want me to find out at all?" I said. She covered her face with her hands, shaking. "I don't know what's wrong with me. You fell out of love," I said, finishing it for her. "And fell for someone else." Silence. Then barely audible. "Yes." Something inside me broke cleanly then. No screaming, no rage, just a final, quiet understanding. I stood up, my voice steady. "Then there's nothing left to fix." "Please don't," she began, reaching for me. But I stepped back. "At the party," I said. "I was about to leave before you ever said a word. I wish I had." And with that I walked out. Not just from the house, but from the version of my life I'd been clinging to. Behind me, I heard her sob once, softly. But I didn't look back. Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. It just leaves you standing in the wreckage, realizing freedom was the last thing you ever wanted.